Let me take you through this 4-light setup. The first one is actually an LED continuous light right here, and then I've got 3 flashes. One at the back as a hair light, one here as an ambient light with a blue gel, and then this as our key light with an orange gel. It's lighting this whole scene, which is here to resemble creative block. This is what it might look like, or at least in my mind, and the end picture looks like this. But of course it didn't start here, so let's rewind and break it down. To help me out today, I've got the amazing Chloe. Chloe's going to be the model for this photo session, and normally we start with no flash, no picture, but today we've got to think about the lowest level of light we're working with that we actually need to record, and it is the light bulb right here. Now, I can't make that light bulb any brighter or dimmer, so that's what we've got to get right, and I actually want to see it illuminated in the photos. So, what camera settings? I actually don't know. This is where a little bit of experimentation comes in, and I've put my camera into the show me the exposure automatically mode, so I can't really see Chloe, but I can see the light bulb. And if I change my settings a little bit, this is what I've settled on. I've got f5.6, that's the aperture to give me the depth of field I've chosen, and to make that all work, I've gone with a shutter speed of 1/125th of a second, ISO 400, and no flash, no picture, but I can see the bulb glowing, and yes, there's a bit of light on Chloe, but I can live with that. Now the bulb itself isn't really bright enough to light Chloe, so I'm going to add a flash back here to simulate the light that might have come from the bulb. We call it motivated lighting. Now, to make this really be effective, I need to make sure that the light from the flash is roughly the same color as the light from the bulb, which is quite a warm tone. So back here, I've got a Flashpoint EVOLV 200, just the basic one, the original one. I've got an orange gel on it and a grid on it as well, just to direct the light so it hits Chloe's hair and shoulders. At least that's the idea. I'm gonna get it as high as I can, which will probably put it out of shot, but that's actually where I want it. I want it to be out of shot for the photography. And I've got it on 1/32 power. I don't know if that's the right power, but I do know a way of finding out. Quick little test photo, here we go. And well, yep, that looks pretty good. But to be sure that you got the right power, here's the same photo at 1/16th power, which is brighter, and the same photo at 1/64th power. So a stop either side, brighter and darker. So then I can choose the right power by reviewing the 3 images next to each other. And I think it's this one. So I've got the light for this bulb sorted out, but what about the general room light? Because I'd like this to feel like it's a nighttime session, and for that we need a couple of things. The first one is just a general wash of light, and particularly blue light, because blue always says nighttime. So to achieve that, I'm going to use a flash, and it is once again a Flashpoint EVOLV 200. This is actually the Pro version. Now there's a couple of ways I could do this. I could just bounce the blue gelled light up onto the ceiling and let it come down, but that's not really going to be very controllable, and I need a lot of power out of this flash to do that. So instead, I'm going to direct it at Chloe, but elevate it up. Now I'm using a softbox. This is a 12x36" strip box from Glow, and I'm going to pop it up here somewhere, and well, there we go. What we've got to do now is work out how much light I need from that. I could do meter readings, but I'd much rather do it by eye. So I've turned off the light on Chloe's hair, and I've only got the light from that strip box. And at the moment it's set to 1/16th power, roughly in the middle of its power range. That is blue, but is it too blue? Well, once again, I can find out by just turning it down a stop. So maybe 1/32 power, which I think puts a little bit more blue into the shadows without it being completely overpowering. I've got one more light to set up, which technically would be called the key light, because it's the one that's going to put shape and form on Chloe's face. Now, usually you'd do this first, but because of everything else going on, it just turns out that this is the last one I'm setting up. What I've got is another Flashpoint EVOLV 200 Pro. This is the Mark II, and this one has a different softbox with a grid, and it's the grid that's going to help me out here, because that's going to help me direct light onto Chloe, keep light off the background. So all I need to do is work out where the light's going to go. Now there is a modeling lamp I could use, but it also works if I just do this. Chloe, can you tell me when you can see about half of the white? About there? Okay. So if Chloe can see half of the white, that means a lot of this light's going to reach her and a lot of it is going to avoid hitting this background. In fact, from back here, I can't see any of the white, which should give us a bit more control. Now, I've turned off the other lights so we can just see this one working on its own. And I've got it set to 1/16 power. Again, we're going to take a test photo just to see how this looks. And that looks about, to my eye, about right. Plenty of shadow, nice little highlights on Chloe. And when I combine it with the other two lights together, they all work together to make this final image. With the lighting set up and working, it's time for the missing ingredient, which of course is styling. So we've got some styling that really fits in with the theme. Remember, this theme is creative block, and I've got, well, Chloe with a typewriter typing up ideas. We've got loads of abandoned ideas and all of the things on a desk that might actually be on a writer's desk. But floating above Chloe's head, I've got the ideas that are floating around above her head. You can write your own story with this, but hopefully it looks good. And the only way to find out whether this all works together is to take a test photo. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's see how this goes. So now everything's in place, we can see that colored gel really working well. I've got blue light and warm light both interacting together. In post-processing, I'm going to darken the top down a little bit just to make sure that the attention goes down onto Chloe where I want it to be. But other than that, it's pretty much as you see it. So with this set up, Chloe, are you ready? Let's take a few photos. Here we go. I think this scene could definitely benefit from a little bit of haze around the LED light, and if you want to find out what gear I'm using, check out the links in the video description. They'll take you back to Adorama for more information. When you do hit that creative block, you could try exactly what I've done here. That is, find an image that inspires you and then use that image as a starting point for your own version. And by the time you've finished, it'll end up being something completely different and absolutely your own. It could end up looking like this. Creative block is something that happens to all of us photographers on a fairly regular basis, me included, but this was a great way to get over it today. Now, if you have creative block, how do you get past it? Let me know in the comments down below. Whilst you're there, maybe give this video a thumbs up and check out the gear links that will take you back to Adorama. And of course, click on that subscribe button for more videos like this, including this one right up here, where I balance LED light and flash in an alternative way. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.